Here's something most coffee people never think about. Your morning cup, that thing you spend real money on, carefully grind and brew with precision, is 98% water. Not 98% coffee. 98% water. And yet, if you asked most people what matters most about their coffee, they'd say the beans. Maybe the grinder. Maybe the brew method. Almost nobody says the water. Which means almost everybody is ignoring 98% of the equation. Today, we're going to change that. This is the science of coffee water. What's in it, what it does to your cup, and why changing your water might be the single biggest upgrade you ever make. Let's start with a simple fact. Take the same coffee beans, same grinder, same brew method, same temperature. Brew one cup in New York City and another in Las Vegas. You'll get two completely different drinks. Not subtly different, obviously different. The New York cup will taste brighter, cleaner, more balanced. The Las Vegas cup will taste flat, chalky, and dull. Same beans, same technique, different water. New York's tap water comes from upstate mountain reservoirs. Soft, low in minerals, naturally balanced. Most cafes in the city use nothing more than a basic carbon filter. Las Vegas draws from Lake Mead, hard mineral-heavy water that fights against extraction. This isn't a matter of taste preference, it's chemistry. And it explains why your coffee might taste different every time you travel, or why a recipe that works at a friend's house falls flat in your kitchen. So what's actually in your tap water that matters for coffee? Three things: minerals, alkalinity, and contaminants. Minerals, primarily calcium and magnesium, are what give water its hardness. Hard water has a lot. Soft water has very little. These minerals are the tools your water uses to extract flavor from coffee grounds. Without them, water can't do its job. Alkalinity is your water's ability to neutralize acid. It comes from bicarbonates. Some alkalinity is good. It keeps your coffee from tasting sour. Too much, and it flattens everything. Then there are contaminants. Chlorine and chloramine are the big ones. They're added to kill bacteria in the supply, and they're in almost every municipal water system. Even trace amounts produce a chemical, papery taste that sits on top of your coffee. Chloramine is particularly tricky. It doesn't evaporate like chlorine does, and standard carbon filters only partially remove it. Iron, sulfates, lead, these all show up in certain city water supplies and introduce metallic, bitter, or astringent notes that no amount of great coffee can overcome. The Specialty Coffee Association has been studying this for decades. They published a formal water quality standard, SCA Standard 310, updated in 2021, that defines the ideal water for brewing. Here are the numbers. Total dissolved solids target 150 milligrams per liter, with an acceptable range of 75 to 250. General hardness targets 68 milligrams per liter. Alkalinity target 40 milligrams per liter. Sodium 10 milligrams per liter. pH 7.0 and chlorine 0, not low, 0. These aren't arbitrary targets. Each parameter controls a specific dimension of flavor. And here's what's fascinating. Virtually no city's tap water hits all of these targets naturally. Competition baristas don't use tap water, they build their own. This is where it gets really interesting. A 2014 paper by Christopher Hendon at the University of Bath, published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry, changed how the coffee world thinks about water. Hendon discovered that magnesium and calcium don't just help extract coffee flavor. They extract different flavors. Magnesium is the flavor hunter. It has the highest binding energy for the organic compounds that give coffee its brightness. Fruit notes, citrus, floral complexity. Water with more magnesium extracted 35% more of these compounds than distilled water, 35%. From the same beans. Calcium is the bodybuilder. It emphasizes the rounder, heavier flavors. Chocolate, sweetness, body. It produces a fuller mouthfeel and better crema in espresso. And then there's the ratio that matters. Bicarbonates, your water's alkalinity, act as an acidity dial. Every 10 parts per million of carbonate, hardness dials back perceived acidity by roughly 15%. Too little, and your coffee tastes aggressively sour. Too much, and you lose all the brightness and complexity. The sweet spot? A general hardness to carbonate hardness ratio of about 3:1. Enough mineral power to extract the good stuff, enough buffer to keep it balanced, not so much that it goes flat. This is why both distilled water and hard water make bad coffee. Distilled water, zero minerals, zero dissolved solids, can't extract properly. It lacks the chemical tools to pull flavor from the grounds. The result is under-extracted coffee that tastes thin, sour, hollow. Some people describe it as empty. The water goes through the coffee and comes out the other side without picking up much along the way. Hard water, anything above 250 parts per million, has the opposite problem. It's oversaturated. The excess minerals pull out too much, including the bitter compounds you don't want. The result is chalky, harsh, over-extracted coffee. And as a bonus, hard water destroys your equipment. Limescale builds up inside boilers, clogs valves, and can kill an espresso machine in months. The SCA window, 75 to 250, targeting 150, exists because there's a narrow band where extraction is just right. Not too much, not too little. Whether you lucked into good coffee water depends entirely on where you live. Cities with naturally good coffee water include New York, Portland, San Francisco, and Chicago. These all draw from well-protected reservoir or lake sources with moderate, balanced mineral content. It's not a coincidence that these are also some of the strongest coffee cities in the country. Cities with naturally bad coffee water for different reasons. Las Vegas, Phoenix, San Antonio, Tampa, and Indianapolis all have very hard water. Your coffee there will trend chalky and over-extracted right out of the tap. Meanwhile, cities like Newark, Pittsburgh, and Milwaukee have faced documented issues with lead, chromium, PFAS, and other contaminants that add off flavors before you even start brewing. And here's the part that surprises people. Chlorine, which is in almost every city's water, directly bleaches the crema on espresso. It introduces a papery chemical note that masks the actual flavor of the coffee. Even in cities with otherwise decent mineral content, chlorine alone is enough to noticeably degrade your cup. The good news is that testing your water takes about 30 seconds and costs almost nothing. A basic TDS meter, total dissolved solids meter, costs between $10 and $20. You dip it in your water and it gives you a number in parts per million. If you're between 75 and 250, you're in the SCA range. Under 75, your water is too soft. Over 250, it's too hard. For more detail, water hardness test strips cost about $8 to $15 for a pack. And we'll tell you your general hardness, alkalinity, and pH separately. This is the level of detail that starts to be genuinely useful. Quick note on TDS. There are two completely different things, both called TDS in the coffee world. Water TDS measures the minerals in your water before brewing. Coffee TDS measures how much coffee dissolved into the cup after brewing. A pour-over has a coffee TDS of about 1.2 to 1.7%. Espresso hits 8 to 12%. Same abbreviation, completely different measurements. Don't mix them up. Here's the practical part. 5 tiers from free to gold standard. Tier 1, free. The R. Pavlis recipe. You take distilled water and add a tiny amount of potassium bicarbonate. That's it. It costs essentially nothing and primarily protects your equipment from scale while providing a clean neutral base for extraction. Tier 2, 1 cent per liter. The Barista Hustle recipe. Epsom salt and baking soda added to distilled water in precise ratios. You make 2 concentrate bottles that last months. This is the gold standard in the home specialty community. Cheap, effective, and fully customizable. Tier 3, 26 to 68 cents per liter. Commercial water packets and drops. Third Wave Water sells pre-measured mineral packets. Just dump 1 in a gallon of distilled water. Lotus Water sells mineral drops with different formulas optimized for light or dark roasts. Convenient, but you're paying a significant premium over the DIY options. Tier 4, one-time investment, filtration. A Brita pitcher runs $25 to $45 and handles chlorine and sediment. A meaningful improvement for drip and pour-over, but not enough for espresso in hard water areas. The BWT Penguin is specifically designed for coffee. It removes lime scale while adding magnesium back in. Tier 5. The full setup. Under-sink reverse osmosis with remineralization. $150 to $600 installed. This strips everything out and adds back controlled minerals. It's what serious coffee shops use. Brands like Waterdrop and APEC make systems specifically designed for this. So what should you actually do? Start by testing your water. Get a $10 TDS meter. Know what you're working with. If your TDS is between 75 and 175 and you don't taste chlorine, you're in good shape. A basic carbon filter, even a Brita, removes the chlorine and you're done. Most of the country falls outside that window, though. If your water is too hard, you have two paths. Either filter it down with a reverse osmosis system or switch to the DIY route. Buy distilled water and build it back up with the Barista Hustle recipe at 1 cent per liter. If your water is too soft, you need to add minerals. Same approach. Distilled water plus minerals is the simplest, cheapest, most consistent solution. And if you just want the absolute easiest upgrade with no testing or measuring, a BWT pitcher with a magnesium cartridge. It handles chlorine, reduces hardness, and adds the one mineral that matters most for flavor. It won't get you to competition water, but it'll get you 80% of the way there for $40. That's the part of coffee that nobody talks about. The 98% that isn't coffee at all. You've probably been optimizing the 2%. Now you know how to optimize the rest. If this changed how you think about your morning cup, subscribing helps us keep making these. And if you've experimented with water recipes or have a filtration setup you swear by, we'd love to hear about it in the comments. Thanks for watching.